Hello everybody, this is Bud and this is the vibe coding video. Alright, I have created an empty directory here called tmp video vibes. Also have it in my terminal, and now let's start. VS Code should actually start in this directory now, which it does. Great. The Copilot chat panel is open. If it isn't, you can open it from here. And my plan is to create a GTK3 program in this video that will do something similar to this vibe info program I had created in the past here. It's a GTK2 program that displays information about the currently active windows. You can see title and class and instance, window type, window role, and so on. It's a very useful program actually, but this GTK2 version, there's too many bugs in this, and I simply just want to restart this program from scratch, and I thought we could try to do that in this video actually, and that it may or may not be a good example on how to get started vibe coding. But the thing is, nothing is as simple as it first might seem, you know, and I realize that a GTK program may be a bit complicated actually as an example, but you know what, let's do it anyways, because I think it will be interesting to see here. We will quickly run into a quite annoying issue here, and I know how to solve it, so stay with me here now. The first part of this video will be a bit weird, but you'll see what I mean here. Let's just prompt it to get started. Hello, I want to create a GTK3C program. Let's start by doing a simple single file hello world. Usually now it will give me an example of a workspace here with like a make file and a source file and everything, and this is all good. If we click this button, sometimes in this Copilot chat panels you get like stuff like this, buttons that you can click, create this workspace, sure, and this simply adds these files to our workspace here. Very annoyingly, it adds them into a subdirectory like this. We can see it here in the side panel, and what I like to do is just move these files out into the project root and delete the subdirectory first and foremost. You don't have to do it, but I really want to do that. Alright, and we have a make file. If everything is good, we should be able to just run make here. And that worked. It compiled the program. Sometimes it doesn't work. There might be it could very well be like a typo or something in this C file, but it appears to have worked now. We got an executable file. If I double click this in Thunar, for example, here is that example program, and this time it looked like this. Okay. The thing is, I have done this video so many times now, and every single time it's slightly different from the past, so it's quite unpredictable. It's one reason why this is a very difficult video to create here, because I have no idea what will happen, but I have some ideas, and one thing that I know would happen is this, and this is important. In VS Code you can see we have errors in our C source file here. You can see the errors in the status panel down here. If you click this, yeah, it shows me the problems we have with our C source file. This is of course very interesting information to get, because sometimes the AI generates like code with errors, and it's really good to get the information here to quickly find the problematic code and stuff like that. But as you can see, the problem we have is at the top of the file, the include statement here. It can doesn't know where the header files are located, and this is VS Code that reports this. More specifically, it is the IntelliSense C plugins that I have installed that needs the information where the include files are located, and this is also of course needed for compilation. To be able to compile the program, we also need to know where the correct path to the headers are located, and so on. And if we look at the makefile, it looks super simple, right? CC, C compiler, GCC here, compile, pass C flags, output, target, source files, main.c, libs. It's not a big deal. I think you can interpret this program. But what it actually does is pkg-config here is a program that can be used to figure out library paths and such. If we run this in a terminal, you will see what I mean here. Pkg-config C flags GTK plus -3.0 will fart out all of these include paths that we need here to compile the program. So you have to include all of these on the command line. So what this command line actually looks like is like it includes all of these command line options to GCC basically. And it's the same for if you would use Clang, it would also need these flags and include paths. But VS Code don't have these, because VS Code and the LSP needs these paths as well for the editor to work correctly here and figure out what's wrong with our code and stuff like that. So this is an important thing to have set up or configure this correctly. One thing that you will be tempted to do here is to click this. You see we get a yellow little thing here, which is the quick fix icon. When you have errors in your code in VS Code, you can click this to get a quick fix, and that often actually is exactly what it says on the tin, a quick fix to fix the issues. And you can also hover the issue, and this is the same thing. Clicking quick fix here will give us the quick fix alternatives. The obvious quick fix here is to include GTK3. It's also here, it gives us a hint why this is also problematic, specifically with GTK, because I have 3 different versions of GTK installed. It's GTK3 we want to use, right? So we add to include path this. Then it opens up this semi-GUI settings thing. It also created a VS Code directory. Stay with me now, stay with me, because we don't want to do this actually. I don't like this. VS Code directory in our project source. It creates this JSON file because this is for VS Code to understand where this GTK header file is located. And now when you have added all of this, then it works, right? No, it actually doesn't, because it more or less needs all of these include files. You need to add them here. You can keep on quick fixing here. It usually works. So okay, let's add this. And then every time it opens this stupid window here, I don't like this at all. So we go here, and now we see it added another thing. We go here, it's still squiggly. We select quick fix, and now you can see this time it doesn't add, the path is not added here that we want to add. When I click here now, it actually doesn't do anything, because now it is kind of stuck. It cannot find the next, the correct path for this glib-h file. And what I did in the past here now, just a couple of hours ago, I actually you could do this, but don't do it. You can just copy paste this error here, the VS Code error we get. You can ask Copilot what this error is about. Where can I find this header file? Yada yada yada, and try to figure it out. And it is possible. I have done this. you can actually populate this include path array in this stupid JSON file in this stupid VS Code directory in our project source stuff here. You can properly populate this file correctly and get rid of the squiggly lines eventually once you have added the correct. And the thing is, it's not this directory that it cannot find now. It is actually not in the output here, so it is a bit weird here, and we will not get into this anymore because this is the wrong approach to this. And the way I figure this out is that if we close these two windows, and then we close VS Code itself, and then we remove this VS Code directory, and we start VS Code again. Now it does something in Makefile Tools, and we actually have a notification. It's so weird. I just happened to notice that there was a dot on this. I had a new notification. This is the clue that we need here. Commands must be marked as safe before they will be executed in the shell. Add pkg-config to the makefile safe command settings if this command is safe to execute. And pkg-config is what we executed here. And what is really happening here is that I have this extension, and this extension was suggested by VS Code a while ago for me to install. Makefile Tools doesn't have the highest rating, but it seems to work fine. And it is supposed to automatically do this, add these compile flag stuff to the other C extensions and just make everything work. But apparently it doesn't really work there, because we have to manually add pkg-config to safe commands. If we don't do that, it cannot execute pkg-config, which we have specified in our makefile, meaning it will not automatically add these command line flags. So what you want to do is go into the settings of this extension, settings, go to the very bottom of this setting page where the save command option is. You select add item, and there you type pkg-config. Right, and when you think about it, this is not so bad really, that you have to manually add the commands that this makefile extension is allowed to execute to figure out the command line flags and stuff like that. So once this is done, if I now look at the main.c, we can see that it still is red squiggly lines, because again now we have to restart VS Code, and then it will. I think we have to restart. It might actually work if we. What happens if I just add an empty line here and save this? No, it didn't execute that stuff there. Yeah, to force it to actually run, I think we have to restart VS Code again. So we close the program, open it again, and as I said, this is insane that we have to do all of this. Now it actually run the makefile extension properly. We don't have any notifications, and if we look at main.c, there are no red squiggly lines or errors reported about our include statement. Like now, when you are at this stage, we have created a hello world, we don't have any weird editor issues and stuff like that. This is when you can start vibe coding for real here. Or any, even if it wasn't vibe coding, I think this is the proper way to start new projects. Hello world, get everything working, get the build environment set up correctly, or at least in a working state, and then take it from there. And the thing is, we could actually have just ignored this warning here and kept on vibe coded. And that would have worked, because Copilot doesn't care about these warnings whatsoever. It doesn't know about this, really. This is for VS Code. And you might think, but isn't that the same thing? It actually isn't. And this is a weird thing. And probably something that and eventually you will get super annoyed by this, believe me. that you don't like that you don't have zero problems. You want to have either zero problems or actual problems, and this isn't really a problem, you know. It's only a problem for the stupid editor LSP stuff. Another solution would, of course, to just disable the C extensions here. That could also work, probably, but then you lose the functionality that they actually provide, which is quite useful. For example, if I hover this GTK window macro, you see it expands here now. We can see what this macro actually expands to. If we have or select a function, press F12, it will jump to this header file, USR include GTK3. It's actually quite useful once it is set up, you know. And all of this will not work until these include paths are known by the editor. And in my opinion, this seems to be the best way to get that working. If you want to use make as the build system. If you use another build system, for example CMake or Meson, then this will probably not be an issue at all. But I am a makefile kind of guy. I only know make. I don't know Meson. I really don't know CMake. I know Meson a bit, actually. I could use that, but I don't want to. I want to use make. All of them suck, by the way. But the make, I kind of like make in a way. Whatever. This is C programming for you. You have to figure out your configuration. What build system do you want to use? What compiler? What editor? What build tool? For example, make, Meson, CMake do you want to use? And set up your environment to work well with that configuration. This is how you do it if this is the configuration you want to use, makefile. And as you can see, I never told Copilot that I wanted a makefile or anything, because that is kind of the simplest build system in a way. Or the simplest is actually to not have make at all, and then you manually call GCC yourself and construct the compilation command, which is not impossible to do either. You could even use bash as a build system if you wanted to, you know. But this is a common and not a bad practice in one way to use makefiles. Sorry for this intro here, but it's needed. It was needed here, and now we can keep on prompting to get this program to an actually usable state. One thing I want to do first and foremost is that now to execute this program that we have compiled, you can do it like this. Just double click the executable in Thunar or run it from the command line. GTK3 hello world, that of course also work. But I like to set up a run target. I simply just call it that. You can call it whatever you want. And I will manually do this. I could also prompt AI to create this for me. And also clean is actually a phony target, so let's add that. Run. I will just type it out here. So what this will do, this is a makefile target here. Now if I type make run, it will execute that target. Make run. And there it will do three things, as we can see. It will first execute make clean, meaning it will remove our compiled binary, and that in turn will force it to recompile it. And this is what you want while developing. I have found it's just nice to have it set up like this. Some people will say this is not how you use make, but this is what I do. And I have also, you will see one final thing here, why this is what you want to do. And then we specify the full path here, because as we can, we need the full path, and that will execute the program. So now we can simply run make run in a terminal to compile the program from scratch, clean it up, and run it in one single command. That's nice. But another thing that is nice by doing this is that we can actually make it so that when it executes this command, make target, and now of course we only have one single C file and stuff like that, but your programs will very well be more complicated with more files and stuff like that. By doing it like this, you can add some trickery to this command here to also generate a GCC log file, which is what I like to do. So here, these are, as you can see in the terminal, are compiler warnings. So the compilation works, but there are some warnings. We are using some deprecated functionality and so on here. This output is usually very interesting to save into a log file, so you can easily give it to the AI in case the compilation doesn't work, or if you want to resolve these warnings. We can. It's very easy once you have it in a log file. So I will cheat here and go to, for example, ICA, and then if I look into my GNU makefile here. Run, there it is. So it's basically, if we copy this, whoops, and I needed to cheat here because I couldn't remember this command line option, no print directory, and then we go back to the video vibes project and we add this here. So no print directory, this is actually a command line option that we give that is given to make itself. If you don't have this command line option, then it will actually print out a lot of other stuff that we are not interested in. We pipe the output now of make, meaning this is the output because we capture also standard error messages, and we pipe it to T and append the output to a .gcc file. Then we also add this .gcc file to our clean target here, because that will remove that log file every time we recompile, which is also something you want to do. Now when I do make run, program starts, and now we can also see the compilation warnings are saved here to a file, but we also see them in the terminal. That is what T does. It lets you lets you both create a file and see the output in the terminal, basically. And again here, I know a lot of stuff going on here. I thought we would just prompt and everything would be nice, and of course we could have used AI here to generate all of this for us, but in this case I wanted to really show you what is going on here, and this is something I have figured out myself, that this is what you want to do. Like you really want to do this from the get-go, get this GCC file going, so because it will be very useful when you are developing this. And this is a bit different from when you're not vibe coding. It's not that important to create a compiler output log file like this, because you usually just copy paste a single line and Google it and stuff like that. But here it's a lot more reasonable to have a log file, and because that is automatically now added to the context. We could actually ask the chat here. I get GCC warnings, and see if it can fix these warnings, because I don't want any warnings. Here's the fix for the deprecation warning. We select the main file because that is where what is problematic. We click this guy here and it will apply the patch. And here, of course, it's a very good idea to thoroughly review. This is when it starts to get serious, you know. It changed some flag here to default flags instead of flags none, on activate. Is instead of activate. Did it rename the yeah, it also renamed the function here for whatever reason. This is weird, but it did that. It does weird stuff all the time. This it is but you kind of learn, at least I learn a lot about how now GTK works. You can see this was the deprecation. Let's save that and see if we now get any compiler warnings. Now we get a clean compilation, no warnings, and the program still seems to work. So that's why that is useful, these compiler log files. All right. Another thing that I like to do is to actually have, when we build, because now when we build the program, we can see that we have, this is the executable file, and then yeah, since we only have one single file here, it doesn't even create the object files. Right, but I like to have it so that make automatically creates a build directory where it puts all the build artifacts like object files and executable file. The log file, I like to have it in the program root actually, so it's easily accessible from the editor itself here. But like the executable file, that's just annoying when because you cannot open that and stuff like that, you know. And it also makes it easy for cleaning up and Git ignoring if all of these automatically generated files are in a separate directory, in my opinion. And we could actually just ask AI to do this. I want build artifacts like executable and object files to go to build like that. Something along those lines will probably be enough. And here we will probably see another issue that I have noticed with make files specifically and AI is that it doesn't seem to know that make files need to be indented with tabs. You see, this is a single character, a tab. It's very important with make files that you use tabs to indent the recipes. It's super important. And when we apply this patch, you will see, I am 100% sure it will add spaces instead of tabs for the indentation here. Yeah, I'm actually not sure this will work, but let's try this and see. All right. And now, if we look here, this is the first time it actually did this properly. It actually didn't add spaces. It usually does that actually. So now, if we make run, it worked. It even worked. I thought that the path here to the executable wouldn't work when we called it build, but it did. So that's good. All right, and now we have a build directory where we have the executable, meaning we can remove it from this. And now it's time to set up Git. So the first thing we should do is to create not here, select a file in the root and create a new file, call it git ignore. And there we add the build directory. We can also add .gcc log file there. We don't want to include that in Git. And now we do a git init. And we can add everything here. Git add everything, git commit initial commit. There, perfect. Now we have configured Git, and that is essential, an important thing to do as well. The reason I didn't do it until we reached this state here now is it's just annoying since, or this is a good point to do the Git setup. And now let's continue adding functionality to our program. Make run. At the moment it is a window with the title Hello World, and this time it created a label that says Hello World in the middle of the window here. And if we want to display the currently active window title instead of Hello World, all we do is just tell that is what we want to do. We tell the AI that can we, instead of printing Hello World in the label, print the title of the currently active window. We can try that prompt. This will not be perfect, I'm sure, and the prompt could have been designed differently, but just want to show you the workflow here. And this is usually how I do, write short, one step at a time prompts like this. It gave us a patch here. We click this guy, which will apply the patch. You can do what the workflow here. Either you use this, but I would actually recommend to not use this. Use this as little as possible and instead manually copy pasting. Now, since the program is so small, the whole program is in this code window here, or a code block thing here, and then it is usually not a problem, but we might encounter issues here. Clicking this toggle diff editor is usually a good idea, because that shows like the additions and removing side by side, and you see it does these weird things constantly. Renaming app, it now renames that to application for whatever reason. Like crap like this is happening all along. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. Now it doesn't matter, I believe, but you have to pay attention to what it changes. Make run. Hello world. No? Okay. Or you know what? It might actually show the window title of this window, of course, or let's see, if we select a different window, no, it doesn't update the window title at all. If we change the window title here in the program, yes, that is, you see, the label is now actually the window title, and that is not get window title. It gets the window title from itself here, basically. And that is not the wrong interpretation in one way. What I meant was that I want to keep track of the currently focused X11 window, not our own window title. And yeah, let's try that. Let's try that and see. To track the currently focused X11 window, you need to use X11 libraries. Here's the updated code. Now we start to get a little bit more stuff here, and it also gives me the updates we need to add to the make file, because now we need to include the X11 libraries in the make file and stuff like that, so that's good. Sometimes it does that, sometimes it doesn't, but then you see that you will get compilation warnings when you have missing libraries and stuff like that, because now we include these header files here. Quickly look at the difference here. You see now it added quite a lot more code here to track the active window title. And yeah, let's just go with the flow here. Keep and update the make file. It shouldn't be anything other than just adding this to libs here. So let's try make run. Okay, now it actually shows me the title of the terminal. Does it work if I change window here? Doesn't, but at least something is happening. I also want to update the label text when I change focus, so we need to track that or whatever. Could probably have left out that last. Here's the updated code to track focus changes, update the label in real time. And here, this is, sometimes it does weird stuff here. We will see what approach it shows this time. Yeah, let's see what it does. Apply the patch. Because I have tried this, doing the same project here a couple of times, and sometimes it adds a stupid while loop and just try to fetch the currently active window 2 times a second. Sometimes it uses a better, more efficient approach. I'm not sure which it does now. Get active window title, G-boolean update, open display, G timeout add. Yeah, let's add this. We can actually ask it. I'm not actually sure. Signal application activate, on activate application run. Clean up update. I'm not even sure what's going on here now. Okay, X11 window tracker. That is the title of the window itself. Select this, yes, now it kind of works here. This is a Sublime title. This is an issue I've noticed, that both Brave and VS Code, they are Chromium Electron based application, and here for those types of application it seems to not be able to fetch the title for whatever reason, but Thunar works, Heynote, this is also Electron based application, Task Manager works. So now we are getting somewhere, you know, and this is actually we are close to what we actually want to achieve here with this application. This is great. I'm very happy with with this. But as I try to say, that I'm not sure how we update it. I think I will actually ask it. Added application data struct update function runs every, yeah, here you can see every 100 milliseconds it checks if the window title has changed. This is a stupid way to do this, because that means it will run a function every 10 times every second. That's very inefficient. Running update focused window title every 10 times every second sounds very inefficient. can't we subscribe to events and only update when focus changes instead? And here you see, this is, I have been doing this kind of stuff, you know, for the longest time, subscribing to events of window managers and stuff, so I know this stuff, but this is not so obvious for anyone who creates a vibe code and application, and it's easy to add like inefficient code like that by mistake. Everything is working, there is no clear indication that it's a bad application, till you start noticing that your application is using like 10% CPU to just display the window title and stuff like that. So, and it say here, you're absolutely right, here's a more efficient approach, using X11 window events to only update when focus actually changes. That sounds great. Let's apply that. One thing I forgot here is that we should actually have committed git commit before doing this, but now we do this anyways here. 11 changes. You see, it's quite a lot of change here to the program. I will not even review it. I'm vibe coding now. Make run. Okay. Now it doesn't work. It doesn't update at all. Well. Huh. Okay. For some reason it doesn't update on the terminal application. And now it doesn't work with any application. Huh. Okay, this doesn't look good. It seems to work randomly. Replaced polling with event-driven updates. Subscribe, focus, match, event. Only update the label when actual. Yeah, it seems to not work reliably now. Sometimes it updates the label, sometimes it don't, even when focus changes. And this is the reason why we should have git committed before there. The issue is that X11 focus event don't always fire reliably for all window managers. Let's use a hybrid approach, polling but much less frequently combined with event monitoring. Yeah, maybe that is what we want to do. Another thing I'm thinking is, because we are using xlib here, and I think XCB is supposed to have a more robust polling mechanism. So now it will poll every 500 milliseconds anyways. What about using XCB instead of xlib? Isn't that supposed to have a more robust event stuff? And sure, I shouldn't say anything now before we have it, but this is one of the cool things with vibe coding and stuff AI here. So I have done this several times on my other projects, that simply refactoring the code using a different library is just a prompt away many times. Sometimes you break everything when you do this, but since the program is such a simple program at the moment, it should be fine here, I hope. But you never know. So now we are, instead of using xlib, we will use xcb, which is a different xc binding library. More modern, usually better, probably recommend it here. And we see a lot of changes again. Yeah, this looks fine. You should of course review the changes more thoroughly. Obviously, we probably need to update the makefile also. Actually, only this is the only change we need to do here. Right, let's see if it even works. Make run. It builds. Now it doesn't update at all. Okay, we didn't get any compiler warnings. XCB provides better. Okay, now it doesn't update the label at all. God damn it, we should have given it the main.c. Let's stop here. This is quite important. It sometimes does the correct thing here. I prompted here about issues with the code, but it actually have the make file set as the context. And when you do this, sometimes it does the correct thing, uses your figures out that you are referring to the main C file here. But sometimes it actually just imagines how the function would look like and don't take your actual code into account and stuff like that. So let's just redo the prompt with the correct context file here, and not because it is not related to the make file. So that is something to pay attention to have the correct context. You can add multiple files when it's relevant. It's something that is quite useful to do often, to add multiple files, but at the moment we only have one file here. The issue is that we need to subscribe to focus events on the root window first. XCB doesn't automatically send focus events. Okay, that sounds reasonable. Let's just... This time I will not review the code at all. I will just add it and see if it works. Alright, X11 window tracker is this window. Now it seems to be quite responsive, or super responsive actually. And added proper event mask, notify to catch window XB flush to ensure events are processed. Now properly subscribes to focus and properly changes. This should make the label update when you switch. Perfect. Works great now. And it's super responsive. And we don't do any polling, right? Correct, the current implementation is purely event-driven. This is what you want. No CPU cycles wasted checking for changes when nothing has happened. This is kind of important in programming in general, to try to avoid crap like that. And yeah, now we actually have a quite good little program here. Now what we should do is commit the changes here. Git add all the files, git commit use XCB to subscribe to events and update label with window title. Something like that, whatever. This is simply to make it easy to revert to a working state in case we break stuff here with our AI coding. As I mentioned, we should have done this before when we had the first working example. You should commit very often when everything is working. Don't commit when it's broken. Commit when it's working, and so it's easy to revert to a working state. To illustrate this, let's add more functionality and then revert back to this state here. So if we do make run, this is a good state, no compiler warnings, program is working fine, everything is cool, we are happy. Now what I want to do is, because we cannot use this for anything, it simply only prints a label with the window title. But what I would like this to do is to, if this was instead printed in an input box, we could select the text and copy it, making it somewhat useful, you know. So let's try to do that. I want the title to be printed in a input box so that the user can copy the text. Prefix the input box with a label title. Also add instance and class label plus input box rows. Let's see if it can handle that. If you press that arrow button, you will see, and you need to it needs to construct the whole reply here before you can apply it, obviously. So just sit back and let it do its thing here. And as we can see, there's lots of things that it does now, because now it changes the layout completely here on the window and stuff like that. And yeah, good. But it also now, if you paid attention, it actually, for some reason, this is a bit bugged out. Sometimes this chat window here, it jumped now way up in the history. So that is another thing to be pay attention to, that you are not applying like an old code block patch, which is easy to do sometimes with this stuff here. But let's apply this new patch. It also added a new include here. And when it does that, it often means that you need to update the make file, so pay attention to that as well. Okay, let's just keep this patch. Let's quickly review it. Whoa, you see lots of code has been generated. And I could see that we also had a makefile patch here. So xcbiccm, adding that to the makefile, libs there, make run. Now we actually even got an error. Okay. You know what? Let's just do this. And this is why you wanted this compilation log file. I never knew when this would happen, but I knew it would happen eventually in this video. So now we just say gcc errors. And it have the log file here as a context, so that is usually all it needs. And now this is also, this can be risky here now. First and foremost, I forgot to add main.c as the context, but it usually figures that out when it has the output here, because the source, the files are mentioned here. But when you get code blocks like this, where it say existing code, sometimes it does the correct thing here when you apply these patches. Sometimes it might replace the existing code with a comment existing code. So now it's important to pay attention what it actually changes here. Yeah, it seems to just update 3 lines here. Very small patch, so that's good. It didn't remove any existing code, but sometimes it does. And this is also why it's important to git commit and stuff like that. We apply this patch and we do make run again. And there we have now 3 different fields here for title, instance and class. And you see they update. This is quite crazy that this works, and it actually even works with Electron applications. As the window title seems to not be correct, but the instance and class names are actually correct here. So hey note, yes. Pretty cool. And in one way it kind of feels wrong now to revert these changes. What I would actually recommend here in this state is of course to git commit these changes, but I wanted to illustrate why you want to git commit, because imagine now if this was completely broken, and this is important now, listen now. We applied a patch that didn't work and we got compilation warnings. We gave it the compilation warnings asking it to fix it. Sometimes it does this and it doesn't fix anything. It just keeps on breaking things. You will understand what it is once that happens. So we'll see. I don't think we will get to that point in this video, but sometimes you notice, hey, it just keeps on adding more and more crap here. It breaks things. The more I ask it, the more it breaks things. That's when you want to just get a clean slate and just do git reset --hard. This will remove now all changes that has been done to the source files will now completely get reverted to the last commit we had. And sure, now things are actually working, and you see, and this will, the good thing here is that it also it does this on all files, because normally when you have a complicated C program or whatever, you have multiple files, like a patch can have be done to apply to many multiple files and the make file and so on. And now when I did this, we see the program is shorter. The make file don't have that extra XCB library, and if we do make run, we can see now it is in that state it was when we committed. This is really good to do, and what you can do now, if this is what would have happened, imagine that this was just broken code, then you tell the AI, I have reverted the repository to the last working commit. Can we try to implement that feature again? And now this time try not to break things. You say something like that and it will redo its thing. But if it's much better to do it like that, like try to implement something from a working state instead of try to fixing a broken state. It is often not a good idea when you see that it doesn't seem to be able to fix a compilation warning and stuff like that. It's you will know when this is a problem, believe me. So using Git is like, that is crucial. If you forget to do this, you will probably eventually end up with a broken program that feels unfixable, and what you do is just restart the whole project. Because it can very quickly snowball. It starts to generate like weird files and all kinds of crap, you know. So take it slow, one step at a time, commit often, revert whenever stuff is not working, just reprompt, take it easy and it will be fine. And since I know exactly what to do here now, we could actually just reapply these patches. This patch, remember, it will actually it has errors in it, but it doesn't matter because we can apply this patch. Sure, keep. And we change the make file to include the ICCM library there. Copy this thing, add it to the make file. Compile, it will have the errors, of course. Exactly the same errors. And we can just reapply this patch as well. And that should work. Keep. Make run, and there, now we have the program in this state. One last thing here, and then we actually have a useful program in a way, because at the moment it is still completely useless since it always updates to the active window. So now it's Thunar. Okay, I want to copy the Thunar instance name here, but as soon as I activate the window itself, it will add its own class. We want to avoid this, so it doesn't add. When it is active, the window itself is active. It shouldn't update the fields, and this can be tricky to get the prompt right for this. But let's just see if we can do it. Can we make it so that when our window is focused, it doesn't update the GTK entry fields? And here, this is also kind of interesting that I asked for input boxes in my prompt here. If you paid attention, let's go back to the prompt where I asked it to add input boxes. Here, I want the title to be printed in an input box so that the user can copy text. You know, input box is not a concept in GTK, it's actually called GTK entry is the name of an input box here. And it's cool that it understands what I actually want and adds entry boxes, and it's usually also tells you that it has added done things like that. Now it really didn't do that up until here, but GTK entry set edit, well, okay. Update, can we make it so that when our own window is focused, it doesn't update the GTK entry fields? Yeah, let's see if that prompt works. Is own window focused? Yeah, let's just apply this patch, I guess. There are many different approaches to this. It's I think I did it in my last attempt at this application. I created like a global variable to store the window ID and check against that or something. I don't remember. But it will probably not do something too crazy here. And this is another thing, yeah, okay. Apply the patch, I don't care. And same thing here now, pay attention, existing code, make sure that it doesn't add or replace large code blocks with the text. God damn it, now it also did this. I selected a completely different. I selected the old, so it didn't apply anything, thank God here. But it's very easy to misclick or misselect the wrong input box there. Okay, there. This is the field for the. Yeah, this video, you have no idea how difficult it is to create this video. It's a crazy project to do this, but I'm doing it, and we are almost at the end of the video here. This is kind of the last thing I would like to add. Review the code. Adds a bunch of stuff, doesn't seem to delete anything important, hopefully. Okay, keep it. I saw that there were additions to the makefile as well. I wonder what that is. You also need to add GTK libraries. Okay, so both C flags and libs need to get updated. And you notice here that when I update the makefile, I usually try to copy paste instead of using the applied patch, because it's very often it forgets to add the tab indentation, and that is so annoying when that happens. But okay, compiler warnings, it's something with the GDK stuff there. GCC errors, clean it up, clean it up. Also, it feels like we could have used, you need to include GDK X11. Okay, yeah, of course. It feels like it could have used XCB to do this, you know? And that is, but let's not do that. But here I kind of would like to, yeah, let's just, here, now it's actually just one single line to add to the include block. It's actually faster to copy paste it yourself. There. Right, no compiler warnings. Changing title, selecting our own window, doesn't update. And now this is actually a useful program.